அவருக்கு தான் போடும். எனக்கு ரெட்டேல தான் பிஜேபி போட்டு போடுவோம்னா இப்போதைக்கு தமிழ்நாட்டில் நம்ம கூட இங்கே யாரும் பிஜேபி பிஜேபி விஜய் மட்டும் இதுவும் சந்தேகம் உண்டாகும். ஓட்டு போட காங்கிரஸ் தான் போடும். காங்கிரஸ் சப்போர்ட்ல நிற்கிறதுக்கு பிஜேபி போட்டு போடுவோம்னா இப்போதைக்கு தமிழ்நாட்டில் நம்ம கூட இங்கே யாரும் பிஜேபி பிஜேபி விஜய் மட்டும் இதுவும் சந்தேகம் உண்டாகும். ஓட்டு போட காங்கிரஸ் தான் போடும். காங்கிரஸ் சப்போர்ட்ல நிற்கிறதுக்கு எதுக்காகவும் நாங்கள் பிஜேபி தான் ஓட்டு. பிஜேபி அங்கே கருணாநிதி மோகன் ஸ்டாலின் விஜய் எனக்கு பக்கத்துல மாற்றம் வரணும்னா டிவிகேக்கு தான் போடணும். இதுக்கு தான் போடுவோம். டிஎம்கேக்கு தான் போடுவோம். ஐயோடைய இது இப்போ செய்துட்டு இருக்க டிஎம்கே செய்ய அதுதான் போட முடியும். விஜய்க்கு தாவேக்கா தான். விஜய்க்கு விஜய் தான் முக ஸ்டாலின் தான் விஜய் போடுங்கன்னு சொல்லுது. சீமான் போல
Hello everyone, am I audible? Is my voice is clear to all? Is my voice is audible to you? Please confirm once in the chat box. Is it audible to you? Okay, then fine. So, can you guys tell me what we studied in our last class? What all topic we discussed in our last class? Can we do a quick recap of our last class? In our last class, what we did, what we developed, what are the feature we developed in our application? What are the features we developed in our application? So in our last class, we implemented the authentication feature, right? How to do a login, sign up, and then logout features. And then apart from that, other some functionalities also that is what update password and if we forget the password. Okay, so those who uses our application. Okay, assume like one user using our application and he forgot his password. So what he will do? He will do a reset password. Okay. So whenever we forgot our password for a particular application, what we will do? We will do the forgot password for that particular application, right? So forgot password means what? We will select the forgot password option in their application, and they will ask us to enter our email. Once we entered our email, we will get the link to reset our password in our email, right? So in our Gmail, we will get a link to reset our password, right? By clicking that link, we can go to the reset password page, and then there we will enter our new password and then password confirm. Okay, so this is how forgot password will work, right? Same in that way. Just if I want to update my password, I remember my password, but I want to change it. I want to update my password. So for that, what we need to do, while logging in the application, user select the option to update the password, right? Or like update his username or any other details, user may select it, right? So now user wants to update his password. Means what he will do, he has to give he has to give his own old password, and then what is the new password and password confirm for the new password. Okay, these three field user have to do, right? So these are also what these functionality also will come under what authentication only, right? Okay. So that's what that's the code we already updated in our. Okay, so that code we already updated to our LMS, right? So in the I told how you guys to import the codes from the LMS portal, right? So on the day for under the under the day 3, I upload the folder, right? Controllers folder, and then models folder, right? And also we listen, and also you have to import the rules folder also. Okay, so rules folder today we will develop it. Okay, today we will develop. Okay, and then after this session I'll upload that roots folder also. Okay, so this is what the project. Okay, now what we are going to do. Okay, so we are going to test this every code we update. Okay, so if you guys didn't upload it, please go to the LMS. Okay, and just import this code into your project folder. Okay, utils folder, middlewares folder, controllers folder, and then model folder. Check are you imported this code or not. Okay, right. So now we'll test it. Okay, now we will test whether our credentials are, whether our APIs are working or not. Sign up and then login API. These APIs are working or not. That's what we are going to check it. Okay, so yesterday already in our last class we tested some of the API like a sign up and then login, forget password, right? So listen, not what we are going to do. Instead of seems like a new request, we will update. Okay, we can rename it the each request section. Okay, so this one I'm going to rename it. This is what our sign up, right? Our sign up API. So I'm going to name it as a rename it to what sign up. So like the second request, I'm going to select by clicking this three dot icon, fine. And here, okay, here I'm going to rename it with what login. Okay, and third request for what for logout, right? So this one I'm going to update it to logout. Understood? And then fourth request for get our profile, right? For get our profile details. Okay, so that's what we rename it. Okay, like that. Totally, listen, totally four requests. For request error. Okay, now like this we are going to add some more request and then we are going to test it. Okay, as I already mentioned, we already returned the code for update password and then reset password on that, right? So now, okay, okay, so those who are asking the LMS credential, okay, I'll send you the login page URL. Okay, see here what you have to do means just click the lost password option, fine. If you didn't log in the LMS means please select this lost password option, right? Here you can enter your email address, which email address you entered, you gave for our internship. Okay, you should already register for our internship. Okay, so if you didn't register means you cannot, you won't get the reset password link. If you registered for this internship means if you already registered in our portal means that email address you can enter it here. Okay, once you register the, once you given the email address here, you will get the, okay, so you will get the link to update your password. Okay, by using that link you can log in our LMS. Okay, suppose if you are not registered for our internship means you won't get this LMS access. Okay, so that's not possible. Fine, right? Now we already written the code. Now we are just, we are going to test it. Okay, in that way, next request what we are going to add it means, listen, next we are going to check forget password. Okay, forget password functionality we are going to test it. Okay. So listen, all of you open your roots file and then check. Okay, whether you are imported this roots or not. Okay, so now listen one by one. Okay, already we implement, already we tested these four roots, right? So listen, these are all bending. Okay, these three things are bending now. Okay, these four roots already we tested and these trees are bending now. Okay, so these three API we are going to test it. Now we are going to test these three APIs. Okay, fine. So let's start with the forget password option. Okay, I'm adding the new request. Forget password is for the post request. Right. So what type of API it is? Post request, right? And then I'm going to type this API here. Okay, this is what my API, and here I'm going to test. Okay, my root name is what? Listen, this is what our base API. Okay, and with that we need to add the prospect name. Okay, so this is the forget password. Right? If I'm adding the forget password in my API means I will call the forget password controller. Okay, so this one I'm going to add it. Fine. Okay, then in forget password, whatever details I'm expecting in the forget password. Okay, usually forget password means what we will do. Just we will enter our email only. Right? Just we will enter our email. Right? So see here, if you open your auth controller.js means here we return the controller for the forget password. Right? So here what we are expecting, what we are getting from the user, only the email, only email part. Right? So here I'm going to write only my email ID. Okay. As you guys already know, listen, login we did, right? This is what my login and this is what my password. Password means we has it and then we are storing it. So for this email, okay, this email I have to send it, right? Only email only I'm sending. Only email part I'm sending. So for this email, I will get the resetly. Okay, for this email, I will get the resetly. Fine. But now, listen, here one is that okay, forget password link means for to reset our password where we will get the link to our Gmail ID, right? But here we are not integrating in the Gmail service. Okay, for the development, it is not recommended to implement the Gmail integration. So for that, what we are doing, we are using some third-party applications. Okay, so one of the third-party applications is nothing but Mailtrap. Okay, so please all of you search this Mailtrap in your Chrome or any browser. Okay, just search it as a Mailtrap. Okay, so this is how you will get the response. Please select that website, and if you didn't, okay, those who are all new for this Mailtrap link, please do sign up. Okay, so please do sign up. Once you signed up and then logged in the website, this is how the home page will look. Okay, so this is how Mailtrap home page will look like. Okay, so here this email sandbox one option is there, right? Email sandbox option, start testing. So please select this start testing. Okay, here you will have one inbox, right? By default, everyone will have this my inbox. Okay, so click that. So here you will get a reset link. Okay, so how we are integrating this mail trap and then our project server, how we are integrating our server with this mail trap is, listen, for that only you have this credential. Okay, so everyone credential will be unique, everyone username and their password is unique. Okay, these things you have to copy paste in your .env file. Okay, so everyone, okay, once you signed up and then logged in the website, go to my inbox. Okay, and in that all of you will get the unique username and password. Okay, so here four fields we have to select. See here, totally in under the credentials section, how many fields we have? Totally six type of credentials we have. Six credentials field we have. So in this total six credentials, you have to copy paste. You have to copy paste the four credentials to our app. Okay, first one is what? Host. Okay, click it. If you are clicking this copy, right now, come to the our project, go to the config.env file. Okay, so like this. Okay, so like this you have to copy paste everything. Okay, so listen, like this I copy paste, right? Like this you guys also have to create it. Okay, so first create the email username. Okay, email password, email host, email port, and then email underscore okay, so like this create five variables. Okay, five env variables, and values you have to copy paste from where means from the mail trap. Okay, so listen, first create the email username. Email username is nothing but go to the mail trap homepage. Here username is the right, click it, it will be copied and paste it in the username portal. Right, so like that, select the password also. Okay, and then select the host, then port. Okay, port any one of the number you can choose, 25 465, any one of them. So like that, this host, port, and username password you have to save it in your .env file. Okay, and from this email form you can give, okay, what is the name you want to give your project. I given us a food genie, right? Like that you can mention any name for your project. Okay, so when receiving the email we will get with the name of this project. Okay, when we are receiving the email we will get with the name of food genie. That's it. Okay, so totally five fields you have to create it for getting the email, right? Now once you indicate, okay, once you pasted this credential in your server, please restart it. Okay, close your terminal. Okay, and then restart it. Okay, after that, once you did that, okay, once you did that, listen. So please come to our LMS. Okay, so in the LMS, you will get under day 5. So now under the day 4, we will have a one view folder, right? So inside that we have a password reset.bug. Okay. So this folder also you have to import it. Okay, just download this file. Okay, just download this password reset.bug file. Okay, come back to the server. Okay, inside the backend, create one new folder as a view. Okay, like this. New view folder is created. Inside that you have to use this password reset.bug code. Okay, just as for creating the HTML page for that reset. Okay, once this everything done, okay, once everything done, go to the postman. Okay, so ensure that your server is running. Now it's running, right? Now go to the postman. Now I'm going to send the forget password link to my email. Okay, so something error is happening. Okay, so let's see here what is actually happening here. Invalid credential. Okay, so in the .env file, I used the wrong credential. Okay, I think something was happened when I'm copy pasting some error, some field I missed out, I guess. Okay, so now I'm copying again and then I'm storing it. Okay, yeah, I think now it will work. Okay, so now I'm going to restart our server. Yeah, so now again I try to resend the email. Yeah, so now see here. Now what we are getting the status about success, and then message also we are getting as what token sent to the email. Now if you open your mail tab, okay, so here you will have that reset link. Okay, so if you open that inbox means, see here, now you are getting the message, right? Forget your password, submit a patch request with your new password and password confirm to this URL. Okay, for this API. Okay, so this bug file we created, right? This here one password reset bug file we created, that is nothing but for creating this UI. Okay, so inside the password, okay, for this email, okay, for this reset password email, here we have a color and then this test content, that's alignment is all, these things are there, right? So for that only we created that bug file. Okay, for this UI purpose. Now, okay, now listen. Now if I'm going to click this reset your password, it won't work because it will direct to the UI part. Okay, if I'm clicking this reset your password, for this we need our friend end. Okay, we didn't start implementing our friend end. Okay, so don't click this reset password. We have another one option. There's nothing but okay. So now I'll click. Okay, I'll go with one more option. So this is nothing but okay. This API is just for giving the forget password request. Okay, so for resetting our password, so listen, for resetting our password we should create one more API. Okay, so it's just for sending the email. Okay, just for sending the reset password email. Okay, now here only listen careful. Now I'm going to test whether my reset password API is working fine or not. Okay, now listen, here I'm going to create the reset password request. Okay, so this URL I'm going to make some changes. Reset password. Okay, see what is my API name. Okay, go to the roots folder and inside that here we define the API name, right? Reset password. After that, listen here, some colon symbol is coming, followed by that we return as what token. means here we need to paste the token which we got from the which you got in the email. Okay, here we got one token, right? This token you have to copy paste it. Fine. This token you have to copy paste. Okay, only that number, up to number you have to copy paste. Then go to the API part. Okay, after the reset password, here I'm going to copy paste the token. That's it. Okay. So what type of request it is? As I already mentioned, this is the request for patch. Okay, not the post request. We are going to update it. We are going to update only the particular page. So for that, I'm giving the patch request. Right. So in this patch request, so okay, what I have to do for resetting the email password? Okay, that new password. I forgot the password, right? Now I have to give the new password. So just I'm giving my new password as a what? Like reset 123. This is my new password. Okay, followed by that I also have to give password confirm also, right? Password confirm also needed here, right? So that field also I'm adding it, reset 123. Okay, both passwords are same. If both fields values are different, for example password is having one value and reset password confirm having the different value, means this one here also will get the error, right? Now both passwords are same. Now I'm going to send a request to reset my password. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay, now our request is successful. We successfully reset our password. Okay, now this is what our new password for this account. Okay, for this email ID, to which email ID you sent a forgot password link, test underscore test at gmail.com, right? For this email ID, this is what the new password. We resetted the password for our test at gmail.com. Okay, so in the database, just we have only one user, right? Right. So this is the database of our project food genie. Okay, so inside the database we have just only one user, right? Okay, so for this one user, now password is changed. Fine. Now listen, now I have one question for you. Okay, so now if I do login, okay, now I reset password everything. Okay, now this is my email ID. Okay, and this is my old password. Okay, so for this email ID only I reset my password, right? Now if I try to do login with my old password, so can we do login? Will it work if I try to log in with my old password? Will it work or not? My question is, it should be work or not. Listen, for this email ID only we restarted our password. Okay, for this email ID I forgot my password. Okay, so that's why I called my forgot password API. Then I got the link to reset my password in my Gmail. Okay, with that link I resetted my password also. Okay, so now my next question is, okay, fine. Now I reset a password. Now I got my old password. Okay, now I got what is my old password. Okay, now what will happen? Will it work if I try to log in with my old password? No, right? Right? It is not, that is not possible, right? So if listen, if I try to do login with my old password, let's see what is happening here. Error means what? Invalid password. Listen, password is invalid for this email ID. Yes, email ID is present. Okay, for the in our database we have one user with this email ID. Okay, but that password only is wrong. Okay, because now we resetted our password, right? Then you have to enter that reset password only. Understood? So which password we reset at reset 123? Okay, this is what our new password for this account, right? So you have to do the login. Okay, so now you have to do the login with this reset password only. Okay, now I'm sending the request. Yeah, now it's logged in successfully. Clear? So this is how forgot and reset password is working. Okay, for getting that reset password, generally we will get it in Gmail, right? But for development purpose, it's recommended to go with for mail trail, because in single day you have to get more mails, right? Okay, so now totally how many APIs we tested so far? 6. Right now only one API is pending. Okay, now only one API is pending. That is what? Password update. Okay, so this is nothing but, what if I just want to update my password? I didn't forget it. Okay, I'm not going to do the forget password and reset password option. I remember my password, just I want to change it. Okay, just I want to change my password. So what I have to do? Just I want to change my password. Okay, so that is also one functionality, right? That is also one feature, right? For when it comes to authentication. Okay, so that's what I'm going to test it. Okay, now I remember my password, but I don't want this. I want to update my password. So listen, here I'm adding one more thing. Okay, here I'm adding one more API request. That API name is what? Password / update, right? What is the name of our API? Password and / update, right? Okay, now in that, if I want to update my password, means what I have to do? If I want to update my password, means what I have to do? I have to give my old password, right? I have to give my old password value, right? So what is that old password? Reset 123, right? And I have to give my new password, right? And listen, guys, you should not do any spelling mistake in this field value also. Okay, so instead of the uppercase P, if you are giving the lowercase p also, it will give you the error only, right? Now, so now listen here, what I'm doing, updated 123. Okay, so this is the my old password. Now I'm going to update this with this value. Okay, so new password. Now I'm going to give it as what? Confirm password confirm, right? So wait a second, we'll check it. Now move to the controller, and here we have a controller to update the password. Yeah, this is what our controller to update the password. So how many fields you are painting? Old password, new password, and then new password confirm. Yes, it is a new password confirm. Okay, so from with this updated 123. Yeah, right. Now let's test it. Yeah, I'm getting my error. What is that? Because I tried to do with what? Postword, post request. But here, this update password is what? This update password is a put request. Okay, because we are updating many value. Already one value is that we are not creating new thing. Already one value is present. That just we are going to update it. So you have to select the put request. Means update. Okay. So again we are getting another one error. What is that? Cannot read properties of undefined. What is this undefined here? Okay. We resetted with what? What is our reset password here? Reset 123, right? Yes. And here whatever is playing old password and then new password confirm. Is here, did I made any spelling mistake? No. Yeah. Here I did only one mistake. Okay, that's what means. Listen, this update password. Okay, so listen, guys. This update password we can do it only when we are logged in. Okay, if we logged in our application, that time only we can update our password, right? So how application will determine whether we logged in or not? Okay, so listen. First, listen here. I logged in, right? This token. Okay, so listen. Now I'm doing login. Okay, how our application will understand whether this, how our application will verify whether this user is logged in or not with this JWT token, right? So after the login, here we are getting one token, right? JWT token. This value I'm going to copy it. Okay, and while sending this update password, okay, while sending this update password, okay, we have to send along with this JWT token. Okay, so for that we have to go to the authorization tab. Okay, and here in that please select this bearer token option, and here you have to update with this value. Okay, so in this value here we are getting one field, right? Token. So in this token field you have to click this password. Okay, so you have to copy paste this token. Okay, now you are sending the same request along with the token. Before that we sent a token with, before that we sent a request without the token, that's why error, it throw the error. Now we are sending the same request along with the token. Okay, now let's test whether we are getting the output or not. Okay, invalid signature, no problem. Okay, just we'll do the login again. Yeah, now it's login successful. Now again I'm restarting my server also. Now login is completed. Now I'm going to do this update password. So in the authorization tab, I'm going to start with this token. Okay, so now I'm here, I'm copy pasting the token which I got from the login. Okay, now I'm resending it. Is this password is not the same what we did? Okay, updated 1 to 3, both are same, right? New password confirm and then sort. See here, now here I gave 3s character, that's the error. Okay, so now I'll resend it. Now see here, password updated successfully, right? So this is how we tested all of our authentication API. Understood? So listen, totally how many API we tested here? 7 API, right? So how many API we declared in our roots file? 7 API, right? So here 4 and here 3. Okay, these 4 already we tested, right? And these 3 today we tested. Yeah, everything worked fine. So our authentications backend part is completed. Okay, authentication model, controller, and then rules and all we define, right? Now like this, okay, now like this we are going to move with the next concept. Next, which one is important? Okay, in our food delivering app. Okay, can you guys tell me? Okay, so now Swiggy and Zomato. Let's take example of the Swiggy and Zomato food delivering app, right? So in that app, first thing is what, as a user we need to create one account, right? Right now account part is created. Okay, just so for that only we did this authentication works and all, right? Now next thing is what? Next thing is what? When it comes to the application. Okay, now we are building what? Food delivery app we are building it, right? So when you open Swiggy or Zomato, what do you see first? So we need an account to use the Zomato and Swiggy. Okay, for create for that account creation part, whatever things we needed for the for account creation, or like for getting the forget password, reset password, these things. Yeah, right. Main page or offer page. So in the main page, what you will get, what data you will see in the main page. What will you see in the main page? Restaurant, right? List of the restaurants. Exactly. So first we need to store the restaurant data in our database. Like how we created the schema and then controller for using the for creating the user account. Okay. So like that we must store the restaurant data also. How we store the user data, like that we need to store the restaurant data in our database. Okay. For that we need to create a restaurant model. So go to the models folder. Inside that we created the user model, right? Like that we need to create the restaurant model also. Okay, right. So now we are going to start writing the code. Okay. So listen. First, what we need to do. So we are using the MongoDB, right? So we need Mongoose to create our schema. Already Mongoose package we installed in our project. So just we need to import here. Right. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a scheme. Right. What is my schema for the user? User is also created by using schema only. So what is generally mean by this schema? Schema means nothing but structure of the data, right? Like if you know already know the SQL part means like column. Okay, in a table we are creating the column, right? So like that the schema is what? Structure of the data. Okay, so now I'm creating what? Schema of the restaurant. Restaurant schema here I'm creating. Okay. So I'm calling this by using this Mongoose. I'm creating this restaurant schema. Okay, so inside this whatever, okay, so inside this whatever details I'm going to mention it, this is nothing but data related to the restaurant. Okay, now tell me for every restaurant what are the unique field, what are the fields will be similar to all the restaurant. So for example, if I take Zomato or Swiggy as an example means, so whatever fields will common to all the restaurant. Every restaurant should have what? Every restaurant must have this, like food item, right? For every restaurant should have a food item, right? So if the restaurant doesn't have any food items, will we call it as a restaurant? No, right? It's any other thing. Restaurant mean it should have a food. Yes. So like this, any other fields which is common to all the restaurant, any other thing which is common to all the restaurant, in your point of view, sir, this all restaurants should have this feature or this value, or all the restaurants should have this detail like that. Like that, anything is there in your point of view? Just simple name. Every restaurant should have a name, right? Without name, any restaurant will be there. No, right? So what is the okay time? If I'm going to mention the name means what is the data type of that name? Name should be what string, right? Name cannot be in number. It should be string, right? Yeah. So if the name is okay, yes, definitely. Without the name, we cannot do anything, right? Name is not optional. Name is mandatory. So for that, I'm mentioning this record as a what? True. Okay. So if it is missing, if the name field is missing, so that time what I'm going to do, just I'm going to throw a error, right? Please enter the restaurant name. Okay. So listen, if user does not going to mention the name means that time we are going to throw this here. Okay, and then trim I'm going to make it as what? True. Okay, trim is nothing but listen. So when entering the restaurant name, if user accidentally enter more than one or two white spaces, okay, unwanted white spaces are remaining. For example, space bar. Okay, if unwanted white spaces are there means it's going to remove it. That's it. And then max length. So what is the maximum length restaurant name can have? It will be 100 characters. Okay, more than 100 characters we cannot give any name. Okay, if any user tries to create give the restaurant name more than 100 character means, so that time this is what error we are going to mention. Restaurant name cannot exceed 100 characters, right? Okay, so by using this max line, we can prevent the long names to give for restaurant. Then is veg. Okay, some restaurants are veg only, right? So that also we should store it, right? If that particular restaurant is veg, okay, so we are going to set the values for true. Okay, so now listen, this is not the string value. Okay, is veg means just we are checking whether it's true or false. If is veg is true means that restaurant is a vegetarian restaurant. Okay, so type, what is the type of this value? Boolean, whether it can be a true or false. If is veg is having true value means this restaurant is a vegetarian restaurant, but if is veg is type is false means this restaurant is a non-vegetarian restaurant. Okay, default, by default I'm going to set it as a what? False. By default I'm going to set it this all the restaurants as a what? Non-vegetarian restaurant. If you want to mention it as a veg means while creating the restaurant we should mention this field. Okay, and then next we want an address, right? Every restaurant must have their address. We must know, right, where the restaurant is actually located. Then only we will do the order and all, right? Suppose what will, if restaurant is too far, it will take much time to deliver the food, right? So that also you'll check it. That is also mandatory here. Okay, address is optional. No, it is it is mandatory part. So what I'm doing, if user forgot to add the restaurant address mean I'm reminding him, please enter the restaurant address. Clear? Then what and all field will common to all the restaurant? Ratings, right? All the restaurant must have the ratings, right? Okay, so ratings type will be what? Number. Okay, and default, by default ratings will be what? 0. Okay, by default rating is what? 0. Initially rating will be 0, later users will give ratings. Okay, at the time of creating the restaurant, first time if you are registering the restaurant in our application, we cannot provide any rating, right? Okay, in our point of view we are opening the new restaurant. So whenever users ordering the food in our application for a particular restaurant, that time user can add the ratings, right? Then number of reviews, right? So we also store how many people reviewed this restaurant. Okay, how many people reviewed this restaurant? Okay, so for that I'm giving one more field called number of reviews. Okay, so number of reviews means how many people reviewed. Type should be one number only, right? By default, yes, first time we are getting the restaurant, default value will be what? 0. Then location. Okay, location means, listen, here we are not adding the address. Location means that coordinates. Okay, when we are going to use it in the maps, how will it work? By using the coordinates only will it work, right? So here this one we are adding for tracking the location. Okay, not for just the address. Address means what? Just is a string, right? But this is location for adding in the map. So for that time I'm going to mention it as what? String, and then that value should be what? Only point, and then request should be what? True. Then coordinates, that is must, right? So listen, here I'm adding the type as a what? Number, and then coordinates is also mandatory. Okay, this is not optional. Coordinates I'm going to make this one mandatory part. Okay, so here coordinates means nothing but it's a longitude and then latitude. Okay, when you open Swiggy, it shows nearby restaurant, right? So this works using this local location field only. Fine. And then reviews. And listen, this reviews I'm going to make it as what array. Okay. Inside this reviews array, each object is what one user review. Okay, each restaurant have multiple reviews, right? For each restaurant can have multiple review, right? It's not like one restaurant should have only one review. So for that, okay, this is not a single value. Okay, for a restaurant, reviews is not a single value. Like address and names are what single value, right? But reviews is what each restaurant have multiple review. So that's why I'm creating reviews as a what array. So that's why I'm creating reviews as a what array. So inside this array, each object is what review of the user. First, I'm defining the name. Okay, name of what user who gave this review. That is why type I'm going to make it as what string. And is it mandatory? Yes. Is it mandatory? Then ratings. Okay. How much rating he gave out of 5? That is number, right? That also I'm going to record true. Then after that what we want? Comment, right? So listen, in whatever you are doing in the real life, okay, in the real world application, whatever things we are doing. Suppose if you, I don't know how many of you use it in Swiggy, Zomato, or in Redbus also. Whenever you are going to give the review, not only in these applications, okay, in overall 90% applications, if you are going to give the review part means, or like Flipkart or Amazon, okay, after some time, after the work done. For example, if I'm booking the ticket in the Redbus, once my travel is over, okay, once my travel date is over, it's after my journey ends, it send us one message, right, to please give me the review. Or like in Flipkart, once we receive our order, that time we will get a message to give a review, right? So in every application, first we will enter our name, right? If you are not entering me also, that by default, okay, already you logged in, right? That name it will be take, right? And rating out of 5 star, how much star you gave. Then comment, right? That's it, right? Star, number of stars we will give, and then we will write the comment, right? If you want, right? That's it, right? Apart from that, nothing will be there, right? Only we will write this much only. Same in our application also we are implementing. Okay, and at last, listen, restaurant will have a images, right? So for that, I'm creating the field called images. Okay, restaurant should have the image, right, to display in the app. Okay, and listen, restaurant have a multiple image, not the single image. So these images also can be all multiple value. That's why I'm creating as an array. Inside this array, each object is what one image detail. Okay, ID of that image, and then what I'm storing. Then we are making this as a what mandatory. Then UR. So listen, as I already mentioned, images we are not directly going to store in our database. Okay, we are going to host it somewhere. That hosting link only we are going to store it inside our database, right? That is the recommended one also, not only in ours. Okay, in universal development, we won't store images in our database. Images will be safely hosted somewhere. We will use only that URL. Right? Images also we add. Then which one is pending? Just one more created. Okay, so this is not for the application detail, just for our reference. Okay, so when this restaurant detail is created in our database, when this restaurant detail is created, okay, so that will be automatically stored. So this created means nothing but it will show the date and time. Automatically store when the restaurant is created. Okay, type, that's why I'm going to set it as what date. Default one is what means date dot now means current time. Understood? Clear? After that, listen, after that, I'm going to add some indexes. Okay, so listen, I'm going to use this restaurant schema. Okay, and here I'm going to add this index. So this indexes improves the our search performance. Okay, so this I'm going to use the location part, and here I am adding the values of 2D sphere, and then like this one more value also I'm going to add it, one more index I'm going to add it, that is what stem restaurant schema dot index. Okay, and then address test. Okay, so listen, this 2D space is nothing but it's for location search. Okay, and this test is nothing but for searching by the address. Okay, in the application, if you want to search, if you want to give any area name, so in that area whatever restaurants is available, that restaurant will be shown to you, right? So for that functionality we added these two indexes. Okay, right. So finally what we need to do to use it in our other parts of our server, we need to export it, right? Finally we should export this model to use in our control. So that's what here I'm going to write it. I'm going to export this model so that I can use it in our controller also. Okay, so now so far just we define the schema. Now we are going to create a model. Okay, now we are going to create a model by using that schema. Okay, restaurant scheme. So listen, so what we did so far, we created the restaurant model with the name, and then is it a veg or not, and then address, ratings, locations, review, and images. Okay, whatever details is required for restaurant in the food delivery application, that are all the details we defined here. Okay, so now our model is ready. Okay, now here I have one question for you. Okay, now our model is ready, but how do we interact with it? Our model is ready, but how do we interact with it? How we will interact with this model? Can you guys tell me? Already we did, right? Already one implementation we done. Already we implemented one functionality, right? What is that? What is that? Already implemented, right? What? Authentication, right? How to create the users, how we created the user, and how we implemented the login. First of all, what we did, we created the user model. Right? First, what we did, we created the user model. Right? Once we created the model, then we created controller to interact with the model. Same. Now restaurant model is created. Then what we have to do? Then how do we interact with this restaurant model? By using the restaurant controller. That's it. So here I'm going to create the new file called restaurant controller. Okay. Now inside this restaurant controller, we are going to add the functionality. Okay, like create a restaurant. If you want to update the restaurant in your if you want to update your restaurant details, right? These things. Okay, fine. Now we'll import. First of all, we'll import whatever details we want to create our restaurant. That all the required file we import here. Okay, so first we are going to add it what restaurant, and this we are going to require from this what models, and then from the models from the restaurant model I'm going to import it. Then there are handler. Okay, so this one I'm going to require it. So whatever helper code we use for the auth controller means we return once and we are using it, right? That for helping. Okay, so for example some code we want in multiple files. Okay, in that way we don't need to define it in, or if for example I want same set of code in 5 places, I don't need to define it in 5 places, right? In one place I can write it, and then I can reuse it, right? Same concept, this error handler, and then this catch async errors. Okay, so this one, dot controller also we use it, right? Okay, so just I'm going to copy paste it, this hatch async errors, and then one more utility function here is called API features. Okay, so in the utils folder, if you open this utils folder, you have, listen, now one more thing. Okay, so one more thing is that, okay, that is what, inside this utils folder we need to create one more file, that is what API feature. Okay, so if you come here under the day 5, listen, updated utils folders are there. Okay, because for this restaurant creator we need that API features. Okay, so listen, okay, if you already have your utils folder, in that you have to add two more files, that is what this API features, and then cedar.js. Nothing but this is also some helper code we want to do our restaurant creation process. Okay, now I'm downloading this API features. Okay, and this one I'm going to paste it inside my project. Okay, so listen, just I'm going to import this inside my file. So here I'm going to paste. That's it. Yeah. So this one also I'm going to use it here. API feature. Okay. So this one also I'm recurring here. Right. Fine. Now listen. Now we will start writing our controller. Okay, so first one, what we want, first when you are opening your application, you are getting the TDS of all the restaurant, right? So listen, so for that we are going to create it control. So first we are going to define the control to get all the restaurant. Okay, catch as in errors. Okay, so this helper function I'm calling. So inside this, okay, so this entire our function, entire our controller function, I'm going to wrap it inside what this catch async error. So that in that way I don't need to write the error handler for multiple times. Understood? Okay, so here I'm writing my function. Understood? Okay. So listen, this catch async errors removes the need of the try catch block. Otherwise, I need to handle it manually. Okay, right. After this, I'm going to start implementing the restaurant related feature. Okay, so first we need to write it or get all restaurant. Right. So listen. Here, first what I'm going to do means here I'm going to call the API features first. Here I'm creating one variable called API features. Okay, so here I'm creating the API feature object. Okay, so listen, already we use, listen here inside our utils folder. Inside our utils folder, we imported one file, right? From that file, I'm going to call this API feature. So okay, what is the use of it? What actually does in that file? What is actually does in our applications? Listen, by using this, we are adding features called search and sort dynamically. Okay, so if I'm getting the restaurant, I mean, if we are opening our Swiggy application or Zomato application, I mean, we are not just getting the restaurant. If I'm getting the 10 restaurant, mean, if I want to sort it 5 restaurant, basis of what? listen, I have a 10 restaurant, 5 restaurant I want to sort it based on the reviews. Okay, in that 10 restaurant, whatever restaurant having the ratings more than 4, that restaurant only I want to sort it. Okay, or if I want to search with the given address, for example, I have a 10 restaurant in my location, I want to give one address. In that address, whatever restaurant is there, that only I want to see it. Okay, these kind of searching and sorting we need, right? So that's what we return in the API features file by the keyword or by the review. What search if you want to imply or filter if any paginess or if you want to sort it based on review or what. Okay, for that helper code we defined inside this API features. Understood? Okay. Now the help of this. Okay, if you want, we can call this search method, and then also we are calling the sort method from there. So here we are adding the features like search and sort dynamically. Right. Now next what I'm going to do, here I'm going to fetch the data. Restaurants. Here I'm calling the API features and then query. Fine. Okay. Now next what I'm going to do, here I'm going to send the status. Here I'm sending the response. Okay, with the help of the status code about 200 means my request is completed successfully. Okay, now here in the status what I'm going to do, I'm going to mention it as what success. Okay, and count how many restaurants I got, how many restaurants I got in the response. The total restaurants count I want to see. For that I'm creating one field called count, and then this restaurants and it will come as what array. Okay, so how many elements present inside this array, so that's why here I'm displaying. Okay, then all the restaurant details I'm going to display with name of restaurant. That's it. Okay, this is the field name and this is what actual value. Okay, that array, just I'm displaying that array as it is. This array I'm displaying it here. Understood? We are sending the response with count and then data. So listen, this controller for what? This controller to fetch all the restaurants from our application. Okay, and also it supports what? Searching and then sorting. Okay, if you want to get restaurant, not all the restaurant, by based on some parameter, okay, based on some factors you want to filter it, that you can also you can do it. Okay, next we're going to create another one controller. Okay, so listen, get all restaurant means what? Fetch restaurant, fetch restaurants with searching and sorting. Now we are going to create the new controller for the creating the restaurant. As usual, first let's start with the catching errors. Okay, inside that I'm going to call our function. Okay, and then here I'm going to define it. Okay, so listen, here I'm going to fetch the restaurant. Listen, here I'm going to create the restaurant. Okay, in our database, new restaurant I'm going to create. Okay, so whatever details I'm getting from the request, okay, with the help of that all the requests I'm going to create a new restaurant. Okay, so listen, we directly store the data from the request body. Okay, once we got the restaurant detail, just we are going to send the response as what? 201. 201 means new resources created inside our database. Okay, and then status is what? Success, and then data I'm going to send it as what? This restaurant data. Understood? For creating one single restaurant, this is what our control for creating new restaurant. Next, okay, now I'm getting the now I created the controller for getting multiple restaurant. Means whatever restaurant available in our application, that also we can fetch. Or if I want to create any new restaurant, that also I can do. Fine. But what if I want to get only single restaurant? I want to fetch only one restaurant from our application by using something like ID. I have a restaurant. I have a restaurant ID. With the help of that ID, I want to fetch only single restaurant. We fetch one restaurant using the ID. Fetching one restaurant. Okay. So for that, here I'm going to add one more new control. So listen, my here I'm going to create new controller name called get restaurant. Get a restaurant, right? Now, as usual, first of all, let's create catch as in errors. Okay, instead that I'm creating the functions. Okay, and then here I'm going to find the ID. Sorry, find the restaurant based on what? I'm going to find restaurant with the help of what? ID. Right? Okay, so listen, inside this controller, here I'm going to find it. Here I'm going to find the one particular restaurant from our database by the ID. So for that I'm calling the method called MongoDB build in query method what find by ID. Okay, from here I need to pass that ID which I'm collecting from the user, that I'm going to pass it inside this find by ID. With the help of that, I'm going to get that particular result. So listen, this line will return the only one restaurant from our database. Okay, so this is what this restaurant will point out what our entire database. Okay, for MongoDB giving us one by built-in query method to find it. Okay, built-in query method it's giving. Okay, so inside that we are going to send the ID which we are collecting from the user, and we are going to send it inside this query method. So this entire line will return one restaurant from our database. So that particular restaurant I'm storing in this variable. Okay, not the array, it's a single restaurant object. Suppose if that ID is wrong, listen, suppose the ID is wrong, there is no restaurant in our database with that ID, means just we need to throw the error. Okay, like how we handle the error in the user controller. Okay, like that. Here I'm handling the error handler. I'm calling the error handler code, and instead of just I'm passing what? No restaurant. No restaurant found with that ID. For not. If not found, we are sending the error. If the restaurant not found, we are sending the error. That's it. So like that. What if I want to delete one restaurant from our application? I want to delete one restaurant. Listen, these things like creating the restaurant, deleting the restaurant, now cannot do by all the user. Okay, those who are having the admin role. Okay, or those who are having the restaurant owner role, that person only can do it. Okay, who's creating the restaurant, that person only delete the restaurant. Okay, for what? So what if happen if I'm not implementing like this? Okay, some user created the restaurant. Okay, some user running his business, running one restaurant business. Okay, so he created the his restaurant in our application. Okay, so I'm a different user. Okay, normal user. I also have a chance to delete that or update that restaurant elements. Will it good? This does not happen like that, right? So those who created that restaurant, that particular person only can update the restaurant detail or delete the restaurant. Okay, everyone cannot perform this application. Okay, so that validation also we will only do. Okay, before accessing this route, validation must be handled. Understood? Okay. Right. Now here I'm creating the controller delete the restaurant. So just I'm exporting. This is what delete restaurant. Okay, so instead of writing the entire line, just copy paste from the previous controller. Okay, just the name, change the name of it. Instead of get restaurant, I'm going to change it as a what? Delete restaurant. Okay, so entity I'm going to wrap it inside what? Catch using errors function. Okay, so now inside that I'm going to write our delete logic. Listen, delete means nothing but same. I'm going to select our database. Database is what this restaurant. Okay, nothing. We integrated our model and controller. Okay, from our database. And first I need to find and then same time I want to delete it, right? Listen, for finding what we did with the help of the ID, if you want to find it means what you which query method we use to find by ID, right? So like this, once you found, if you want to delete means nothing, simple. Find by ID. Okay. Along with that, this will also mention on what? Delete. Find by ID and then delete. So once you found, please delete. Okay. So this ID also I'm going to get it from where? This one also I'm getting from what? User only. Okay. Once he knows the ID means with the help of that ID, we are deleting that particular restaurant from our database. Okay. That deleted restaurant. Okay. This line will give return the deleted restaurant detail to us. Okay. So that deleted restaurant, I'm going to store it here. That's it. Right. Suppose if there is no restaurant. Okay. I here this find by ID and delete not able to find any restaurant with the given ID. So the restaurant value become what? Null or null, right? So there is no value presented here. This time what will happen? We need to return back. Same. Same. This line I'm going to copy paste this, but this time error message should be different, right? No, same only. Yeah, both are what we are doing. We are checking the restaurant whether this restaurant is existing in our application or not with the help of the ID. Same process. Okay. And listen, one more thing we missed out here. What do you miss today? What do you missed out? Listen, just we are checking, right? Like if it is found or not. But we didn't send the response back, right? We didn't send the response back to the user. Right? So listen, if we found that particular restaurant, means what I have to do? I have to send the status code as over 200 and then status I'm going to send it as what? Success. And data I'm going to send it as what? Restaurant. Same. Okay, but listen, same response I'm going to copy paste is here, but here we need to do only one change, that is what? Instead of status of 200 we should change it with what? 204. Okay, 204 means what? Listen, 200 means status code is not, your request is successful, right? Okay, 204 means something we deleted from our database. Okay, listen, 201 means what? For creating the restaurant, which status code we used? 201. But for rating the resources what we use, 204. 204 means deleted successfully, no content present in that. Understood? Okay, we don't need to send back the deleted restaurant. Okay, so that we can keep it. Code is not visible properly. Wait a second. Is this visible now? Is it visible now? Now is it visible properly? Yeah. Okay, so thank you. So far what we did, so far we build the restaurant model, okay, means structure of data, and then restaurant controller for our business, implementing the business logic. But still we didn't listen, but we didn't use the define the API, right? Yes, till now we create our model for database structure and then control to implement business logic. But how will friend end call our API? How will friend end call this get all restaurant API? That is done using what? Roots, right? So how for the auth controller we created the one specific file called auth roots. Like that, for the restaurant API also we must define one roots, right? So nothing. Listen, these roots are nothing but okay. So these roots are nothing but like doors of our backend. Okay, like in our home we have a door, right? Or any other building we have a door, right? Like that, these roots also what? Doors of our backend. Each door, it means each root leads to a specific functionality. If you are opening the door of the sign up means you will get the sign up controller. If you are opening the login door means you will get the login functionality, right? Fine. So now inside this root file, I'm going to create one more new file called restaurant.js. Okay, like how we created the roots for our authentication controller. Like this, we are going to create the roots for our restaurant controller. Okay, so listen this express and then this import statement. I'm copy paste as it is. Okay, listen whatever require these importing statements are there that I'm going to copy top three lines. I'm going to copy it, then I'm going to paste it inside the restaurant.js. Okay, here only one thing you have to do. Okay, instead of the auth controller, name it what? Restaurant controller. And listen, path also, file path also uses changes to what? Restaurant controller. Wherever auth controller is written, just change it with what? Restaurant controller. Because where we define our restaurant controller, restaurant related controllers inside our restaurant controller file, not inside the auth controller. Okay, we implemented the restaurant related control in this file. Okay, so that file name only we have to mention it here. Okay, right. Fine. Okay, so please create a new file inside the roots folder as a restaurant.js. Okay, first we need a express to create a router, and this router help us to define the API endpoints. Okay, and listen inside this router, one more object I'm going to posit, that is what? Merge param should be true. Listen, this is very important. Okay, before that in the auth controller rules we didn't mention that, but here you should mention. Okay, so merge params to means nothing but this router can access the params means parameter from the parent root. Okay, so we will understand this clearly when we are connecting with the menu roots. Okay, after this restaurant we have to create a menu model. Okay, for each restaurant we have a menu, right? So that menu model we have to define. That time we will understand it clear. Okay, now we import all the restaurant controller functions. Okay, and also we need to import some security middlewares. Listen, in the auth controller, sorry, in the auth roots file, we imported some helper code, right? That also we have to implement it here. Okay, but now time is not allowing us to do, right? Yeah. uh, One thing we can do. Okay, so already some of the things we already implemented, right? Okay, we can reuse it. Now listen carefully. Okay, now we need to import some security model. Okay, first one I'm going to import the product. Means from by using this control only our application will identify who we are. Okay, so this one we are going to require from where? Auth controller. Okay, just I'm copy pasting this require path. Okay, so listen, this one I'm going to import it from where? Auth controller. Then one more thing, that is what for authorizing the role. As I already mentioned, this delete or get rest and delete restaurant or creating restaurant should not be done by all user, right? We must we must authorize the role first, like who is doing this work, creating the restaurant, delete restaurant. Every user can do it? No, only admin can do it, right? So for that we are calling the one already defined function, that is what authorize role. Okay, so this one we are going to implement it by inside the middleware folder. Inside the middleware we have a file, right? Okay, project name is nothing but here I have given us what food order project. Okay, or if I want, you can change it to food genie. Okay, so which name you want to give it for your project, that you can give. Okay, it's not like you have to for the same design or same project name. Okay, project name you can change it, or if you want UI part also little bit you can change, but that functionality is there, right? So whatever controllers, whatever features we are implementing in the app, that you should implement it. Okay, then only it will be considered as valid submission to distribute the internship completion certificate. That's it. Okay, from this middleware, just I'm going to use use this file authorize roles. Fine, right? So listen, product we are checking. Okay, only logged in users can access this restaurant role. Okay, and then authorize roles. Okay, and so inside the authorized role, so we are going to set if the role is admin means he can do some this perform. If the role is a user means he can do only these kind of operations in our project. Understood? Okay, so fine. Right now we'll pause here. Okay, so now time is already 8:30. Okay, we have to end our session. Right. Okay, just I top this server. Now listen guys, all of you ensure that you have developed, you have tested this routes. Okay, whether you implemented this controller, and then you must test it in the postman, because next task, okay, like how you attended the quiz in our LMS, that task is related to this postman only. Okay, so the task detail we will mention you in the Monday session or in the upcoming session. So tomorrow you don't have any class session. Directly we will meet in on Monday at same time 7 p.m. Okay. So what is your next task regarding this internship? Okay, already you attend on quiz, right? Along with the project building, you should also parallelly complete the task. Right? So the next task will be updated soon. Okay. And if you anyone didn't subscribe this channel, please subscribe it so that you will get the notification at immediately. Okay, so that it can be ensured you didn't miss any information from our side. And then whoever didn't log in the LMS, please do log in. Okay, so here only you can complete other task apart from the project building. Okay, as we already mentioned from our side, project building is not only thing for completing this internship. We have a quiz and we have some other classworks to do. Okay, then only it will be considered as what valid submissions. Okay, so for that you have to use this LMS portal. Listen, again I'm sending this login link to you, okay, in the chat box. Okay, yes Neha, next lecture is on Monday. Okay, so now listen here, if you didn't log in the LMS first time you are going to do the login, ensure that you have already registered for our internship. Okay, and then okay, if you already register for our internship means, and if you didn't log in the LMS means, go to this lost password option. Here you can enter your email ID, which you gave at the time of registration. Which email ID you gave to us at the time of registration, same email ID you have to put it here. Okay, once you return the email ID here, you can give the search option. Okay, once you enter email ID and then clicking the search button, you will get the reset link. You will get the reset password link in your email. By using that you can do the login, right? That's it. And inside this LMS, you can find the recorded session of the old session. It is again. Now inside this LMS, okay, your course name should be what? You can access only the Internship basics course, and inside that you will find the recorded session of the every day. Okay, so totally 4 days of session we conducted, right? That 4 days related codes and then recorded session will be available here. Okay, you don't need to go anywhere. And then quiz. Those who are not submitted the quiz, please attend this. Okay, entirely day to success. This is also mandatory part. Like this other task is there, that will be uploaded here only in the LMS only. Okay, so ensure also to log in the LMS. Okay, right. So that's it, guys. So that's from the our side. Okay, so tomorrow is the Ramzan, right? So happy Ramzan to all those who are celebrating the Ramzan. Happy Ramzan. Okay, now next session we will meet on Monday, right? Monday at same time we will meet at 7 p.m. So happy Ramzan and happy weekend to all. Okay, so thank you all for attending the today's session. We'll meet on Monday. So thank you once again. So if you have any other doubt, you can ask. Do you have any other doubt? No, right? Okay, fine. So we'll stop the today's session. Okay, we'll meet on Monday. Thank you.